Okay, I think we've got to go ahead.
Okay, cool. So do any of these items look familiar to you? How about the drill that you use to prove that you can still fix things, or the camping equipment that you pull out once or twice a year? Now, I remember walking around my apartment and I realized that I own a lot of things that I only ever use once a week, a month, or a few times in the year. For example, the guitar that sits in my lounge, or the spare laptop that's in my study. These items are picking up dust and I only ever use it when I decide to use it. Hi, my name is Darren D'Abreu, the co-founder of Strapp, a peer-to-peer rental marketplace. And what we have found is that there are millions of rands worth of underutilized idle items sitting in homes and garages around the country and around the world. And the fact is that there's currently no safe or easy way to earn an income from things that you own or to easily access what you need for a short period of time. Now, even with unemployment that has been skyrocketing over a couple of years, especially since COVID, people are struggling to earn a living. Now, even with the average South African salary that sits at roughly 23,000 Rand, to be in the top 10% of income earners, it's roughly 7,300 Rand per month. Now, with 75% of that going towards paying off debt and only 14.4% of the country contributing towards savings, people are looking for additional ways to earn an income. Alongside McKinsey research that is showing that since COVID has hit, people's income has decreased. They've become a lot more cost conscious and have been looking for additional ways to save money. Now, there's also the fact that fraud has increased in 2020 alone by 40%, and Facebook removes 1.5 billion fake accounts on their platform per quarter. And it just shows that it's just simply not safe to engage and transact over today's platforms. Then we look at mass production and mass ownership of items that is truly destroying our planet. For example, if you take your normal household drill, did you know that on average is only used in its entire lifetime for 12 minutes, and it contributes 28 kilograms of CO2 emissions. A spare laptop that's in my office, 350 kilograms of CO2 emissions. That's equivalent of driving 1,255 kilometers. So what we do is we build safe transactional communities to increase your income and increase your access to experiences. And we do this by providing a social lending community, a platform that enables you to rent out the things that you hardly use to other people in your community for a short period of time, providing a safer way for you to transact and truly be part of your community, the Airbnb of personal possessions. Now, if we look at the global sentiment towards sharing, a study by Nielsen has shown that the global willingness to share, for example, has at 28% for electronic items, 23% for power tools, and 15% for home items, etc. So this shows that globally, the willingness to share your personal possessions is on the increase, especially living a lighter lifestyle. Then we look at the growth of peer-to-peer business models like crowdfunding, accommodation, and car sharing. And these have been seeing rapid growth since their debut. And if we look where the big red arrow is, this shows the equipment sharing market. And it is peaking through and growing at over 5%. And this is where we think the big opportunity is, and is why we have chosen this as our niche. So if we look at our traction, we've currently processed over 49,000 Rands worth of rental fees, over 67 bookings. We've got 121 user accounts, 33 unique lenders, and 89 listed items. And our strategy has been focusing on the supply side of the market. So acquiring lenders, specifically niche specialist communities, because they're easy to identify and easy to reach over existing platforms and directly contacting those communities. Now, the true value to our customer lies in our ability to enable your everyday item owner to earn an income off of what they already own, to easily and affordably borrow what they need from the community, and to provide a safer way to transact and truly be part of your community. Now, when we look at the market size of the underutilized items market, it is massive, right? But what is available to us sits roughly at about 23.6 million underutilized items per year, and available according to our business model is roughly 7.1 million underutilized items per year. Now, we take currently 10% commission from the borrower and 10% commission from the item owner to get a total of 20% commission. And in the next 12 months, we're looking to get an expected 750 bookings to get an expected revenue of just over 100,000 Rand. Now, we don't have many direct competitors, but what makes us truly stand out is our focus on community-centric design, building transactional communities. Secondly, is our truly custom and scalable product inspired by our customers. And lastly, is enabling your everyday item owner to earn an income off of what they already own. Now, if you look at the team, we are all good friends, know each other from high school, and have similar backgrounds in information systems honors and building customer-centric products. Jamie and myself are the co-founders, and James is the latest addition to the team. Our vision is to redefine ownership one shared experience at a time, and by using technology to make it easier and safer to transact and truly be part of your community. Thank you.
Almost to the dot. Well done, Darren. Thank you. Just to let you know, I probably have 20 of that however many million items sitting around doing nothing. So yeah, I'd be super happy to get my stuff on your platform. Yeah, any questions from anyone? Precious, over to you.
Hi, Darren. Very good idea and presentation. I just wanted to know, how do you define your market and how do you size it? I'll ask all my questions and you can just address them all. I'm just curious about that. And then I'm also wondering how you then also indemnify yourself of risk with regards to the obviously you provide the platform, but the exchange is between two individuals. So who bears the risk there? Are there indemnities, and how do you also control quality around that exchange?
Yeah, sure. So when you look at the market size, what we did there is the 23.6 million, that comes from previous research done by Gumtree, which shows in 2017, roughly 40% of South Africa's population sold at least one item in the year. So we sort of use that as a proxy for underutilized items. So, you know, roughly there's 23.6 million underutilized items that have been sold in 2017. Obviously, that's a lot larger when you consider items that are lying around being underutilized or only being used once a week or once a month. And then we go down to 7.1 million based off the Nielsen data, as well as our own personal data, first-party data coming from our customers, which is showing about 30% of the people that we reach out to are willing to share their personal possessions with other people in the market. And then going on to some of like what you mentioned about the trust factors. So trust is a very, very big factor for our platform and to bring trust into the platform. So currently we verify all of our users that come onto our platform, and soon that's going to be an API that's going to be linked with Home Affairs to make sure that we know exactly who the people are that are transacting on our platform. Secondly is the lender's able to ask for a deposit that we manage centrally. We also have a centralized payment system, and we offer escrow essentially. So we only pay the lenders once we get confirmation that the item has been handed over successfully. We are looking and getting more of we've currently got rating and reviews, but are making it more in depth so that we can make our quality assurance more systematic. So currently, you know, once the item's been handed over, the lender and the borrower need to make sure that it meets their standards, that the item is working, all is good. And then if we receive any complaints, we have still holding onto those funds, and we can do a refund up to 24 hours. Then once it's been returned, the borrower needs to send us a photo confirmation that the item has successfully been confirmed, and the lender needs to do his quality checks within 24 hours, and then only after 24 hours, then we send the deposit back to the borrower to make sure that he's satisfied with the quality. Like I said, we wanted to systemize a lot more of those QA checks going forward. And actually, now that I remembered, in terms to mitigate the risk and where the risk lies. So currently it lies within the lender, and we facilitate the transaction and the deal. And we currently are in conversations with a few insurance companies, and we've got a meeting on Thursday actually to discuss potential insurance options to try and decrease a lot of that risk.
Thank you. Anton?
Thanks, Janine. I've got two questions. First, your route to market. Can you just elaborate a little bit about that? What your plans are? And then you've got a quite specific pre-seed funding objective. What would you use the funding for? Cool. So our route to market, like I said, is we're quite protective over the product categories that we're offering, right? So we don't want to be known as the platform for necessarily anything. So we're trying to specifically target those niche specialist communities. So, you know, like your nerds who own a lot of tech items, or your freelancers, your musicians, your photographers.
These people are quite easy to identify, and they're already existing communities for musicians, for photographers. There's photography schools, there's societies at universities. There's companies that offer photography services. So there are a lot of existing communities that we want to tap into. Currently, all of our traction has just been based off of Facebook Marketplace, literally manually reaching out to people and seeing if they would be willing to rent out their items. So it's been very manual, cold calling people, well, not cold calling, but reaching out to people via existing secondhand platforms, because the secondhand market in South Africa is worth 1.4 trillion rand. So it's a big market to see how many of those we can actually convert to a rental instead. And then to your second point, our specific funding objective. So currently we have a very technical founding team. So, Jamie's a software developer. I'm an IT business analyst / product owner. So we used to building products. So we don't necessarily need the funding for getting our platform up and running. It's currently existing. But where we really want to put a lot of the effort into is our sales and business development to get as many items on our platform as possible to foster more bookings. Because your average transaction revenue, the number of bookings and repeat bookings you get, is that those are our revenue drivers. So a big focus on sales and business development, brand awareness, and building a brand. Because as peer-to-peer rentals is quite a new model in the country, we're wanting to really get people used to that kind of foundation. And then we've got some growth ideas as well in terms of a rental depot, rental experiences, and a community transactional platform that we're wanting to do some research and development with our actual product. I'm happy to expand on any of those growth factors as well, if you'd like.
Great, thank you, Darren. I think we're done with our 5 minutes there, unless anyone else, any of the other judges have an urgent question. Do you have a website to download their branding page? Anything they've got will be on there. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to go on to the other stream in 5 minutes, but before we do that, I'm just going to open up a breakout room for the judges to go into so they can discuss the social innovation startups that they've just listened to.